My precious child, do you feel that cold knot in your stomach when you read another headline about artificial intelligence taking over jobs? Do you lie awake at 3 a.m., wondering if your skills, your experience, your very purpose, will become obsolete? I see you scrolling through news articles, calculating how many years you have left before a machine can do what you do better, faster, cheaper. But I need you to stop. Stop believing the lie that your worth is measured by your productivity, because I have something urgent to tell you that cannot wait until tomorrow. Let me remind you of a young shepherd boy named David. Only 17 years old, standing in the valley of Elah with nothing but 5 smooth stones and a leather sling, the giant Goliath towered 9 feet 9 inches tall. His bronze armor alone weighed 125 pounds, and his iron spear tip weighed 15 pounds. For 40 days, this Philistine champion had taunted the armies of Israel, his voice thundering across the valley like rolling thunder. Every seasoned warrior trembled. These were men with years of training, state-of-the-art weapons, and battle-tested strategies, but they cowered behind their shields, paralyzed by fear. When David heard Goliath's mockery, he didn't see superior technology or overwhelming odds. He saw an uncircumcised Philistine defying the Almighty One. King Saul tried to dress David in royal armor, a bronze helmet, a coat of mail, a sword at his side, the equivalent of the latest military technology. But David couldn't move in it. With hands gripping only his shepherd's staff and sling, the smooth stones clicked together in his leather pouch as he approached. The giant Goliath laughed, his bronze-scaled armor glinting in the morning sun. "You come at me with sticks." David's response echoed across the valley, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin." One stone, one perfect shot. The giant's forehead cracked like pottery, and 9 feet 9 inches of intimidation crashed to the earth with a sound that shook the ground beneath every soldier's feet. And that is exactly what I am doing with you right now. The world is telling you that artificial intelligence is your Goliath, bigger, stronger, more efficient than you could ever be. They are trying to dress you in armor that doesn't fit, telling you to become more like a machine to prove your worth. But just as David refused Saul's armor because it wasn't his, you don't need to become more robotic to validate your existence. Your value isn't in your processing speed or your ability to work 24/7 without breaks. Your worth doesn't come from being the fastest or the most efficient. I created you with something no algorithm will ever possess, a soul that yearns, a heart that loves, a spirit that creates meaning from chaos. When you comfort a grieving colleague, when you see potential in a struggling team member, when you make a decision based on wisdom rather than data, that is when you are most human, most valuable, most irreplaceable. AI can simulate empathy, but it cannot feel the weight of another person's pain. It can generate solutions, but it cannot pray over them. So stop trying to outcompete the machines. Stop believing that your decades of experience mean nothing because a computer can process information faster. Stop lying awake wondering if you matter. You were not created to be a human robot. You were created to be divinely human. Trust in who I made you to be. Walk confidently into your workplace, knowing that your wisdom, your intuition, your ability to connect with people comes from me. When fear whispers that you are becoming obsolete, remember that I don't upgrade my children, I uniquely design each one. Your combination of skills, experiences, and heart cannot be replicated or replaced. Stand firm in your identity as my beloved creation. Choose courage over comparison, because while the world sees advancing technology, I see advancing opportunities for you to shine your irreplaceable light. Lord Jesus, thank you for creating me uniquely and purposefully in a world that is changing faster than I can understand. Before the first computer was ever built, you still chose to create me exactly as I am. I confess that I have been afraid, worried that my skills will not matter, that my experience will become worthless, that I will be left behind in a world of machines. I surrender this fear to you right now. Take my anxiety about the future and replace it with confidence in your plan for my life. Help me to see myself through your eyes, not as someone who needs to compete with artificial intelligence, but as someone who brings irreplaceable human value to every situation. Teach me to embrace my humanity instead of trying to suppress it. Show me how to use technology as a tool while remembering that my worth comes from you, not from my productivity. Let me be a light in workplaces that are losing their humanity, a voice of wisdom in conversations driven by fear, and an agent of compassion in systems becoming increasingly automated. I choose to trust that you have work for me to do that no machine can accomplish. I will stop comparing myself to algorithms and start celebrating the unique ways you have gifted me to serve others. Let me walk into tomorrow with confidence, knowing that while technology may change how work gets done, it will never change how much you love me or how valuable I am. Your kingdom gives me the courage to embrace the future without losing sight of my irreplaceable identity as your beloved child.